Right.
So that would be Denis at home, but everyone called me Dennis for years. And then a few people I got to know over the years would say, oh, is it Denis or Dennis?
Yeah.
Because it's spelt with one N.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of my natural, but
yeah. So it's,
but I got used to calling you Dennis long before I saw your name spelled. So
yeah, oh no. I have a number of aliases. The other ones I can't talk about.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
If I did, I'd have to kill you both. You know.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good morning, Lisa. How are you today?
I'm great. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for joining. We take a few minutes to round everyone up. We typically get going about 7:33 or so. So
lovely. I will get a coffee.
Okay, that's fine.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ted.
Good morning.
How's everybody today?
All things considered, pretty well.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, Linda.
Morning, Linda. Morning, Wayne.
Morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Here comes Chris as well. Morning, Chris.
Morning.
Hi, Chris.
Hello, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Roy and Rachel.
Hey, Steve.
Morning, Rachel.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm all right.
Rachel.
Hi, everybody else.
Hi.
Good morning.
Rachel.
Hi, Roy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Roy.
Linda, are you feeling better?
Getting there.
Good.
Slow but sure, but it's all good.
Wayne, what's the monkey in the background on the chair?
Oh, that was a Christmas gift a few years ago. The kids were giving me different kind of novel type of Christmas gifts, and that was one of them. My friend.
Hey, good morning.
Fellow Rotarian.
How are you, buddy? How's everybody?
Good.
Just good.
Good. Thank you.
Morning, all.
Thank you.
There's Don. Welcome, Don.
Hi,
Good morning.
Paul. Morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Pauline.
Hey. Hey. Hey, everyone's awfully quiet.
Yeah. Is that you, Johanna, on the phone?
Hi, Ellie.
I'm on the phone also.
Okay. Hey, Dave, I'm gonna mute you. All right. Just so we don't get road noise. Oh, you handled that all on your own. Okay.
Let's see.
Okay.
Morning, everybody.
Mike's in Mexico.
Excellent. Good job, Mike.
Flew down yesterday.
Oh boy.
Well, did you run into any politicians on your way south?
There's one of our speakers, Frank, right?
Yes, how are you all?
Hi, Frank.
Good, thank you, Frank.
Hey, Frank.
Thanks for joining us.
Right.
Thank you for having me.
Frank, we usually get started about 7:33. We collect the stragglers before we jump into it.
No problem.
Amy, welcome, Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Morning, Amy.
Morning. Amy. Linda.
There's my other colleague from Lake Ridge, Lisa.
Yeah.
Morning, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. Asa was the second on today, so she was very punctual.
Chris, I'm still waiting to hear back from Jamie. I reached out to him yesterday, and he said he didn't know the numbers, but he'd get them for me today.
Okay. Yep. Thanks, Doc.
Cool. Is that for the Thanksgiving meal?
Valentine's Day, sure.
Yeah, sorry. Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving.
Yes,
Fast forwarding a little bit.
Some of us have to give thanks, but
yeah, that's right. Okay. Get started in one more, just give everyone 2 more shakes.
I try.
That was shakes. I like
2
it.
more shakes, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't see you, Pauline. Sorry, did you shake something? All right, well, we may as well get rolling here. Welcome to the January 12th edition of this online adventure of the Bowmanville Rotary Club. It still amazes me. We thought it was just going to be 3 or 4 weeks that we'd be doing it this way, but such is life. So welcome, everyone. Apart from our guest speakers, I don't think we have any other guests. Lisa and Frank, you're going to be introduced more fulsomely by Dennis shortly. So we'll leave the surprise till then. So we'll start things off with our toast to everyone appropriate. First off, to Her Majesty, to the Queen.
and to Canada.
Queen.
To Canada.
Canada.
And Rotary International.
Rotary International.
And since we're about to probably go into some sort of a state of emergency today, to all of our frontline workers. Hopefully they get the vaccines and get them on to us soon.
Here's to them.
All right, and with that, I think it's over to Mr. Routley with the invocation.
This is true.
Okay.
The fruit of silence is prayer. The fruit of prayer is faith. The fruit of faith is love. The fruit of love is service. The fruit of service is peace.
I'm not going to get
Mother Teresa.
Very nice, Wayne. Thank you. Pauline, do we have any birthdays, anniversaries, or anything of the sort this week?
Well, one of our members has a birthday, but I'm looking at who's on the call, and I think there's probably only a handful of us on the call who know John Risk. And John Risk was a member of a club. I think he joined about 1984. He was actually the president immediately before I was his vice president. And John moved to Ottawa a couple of years ago, but he's still involved with Rotary. He's still one of our members, and he's an English chap, very much stiff upper lip. Always made me think of a Royal Air Force guy. He goes to England still and visits Rotary clubs. Anyway, John Risk is 93 today.
Oh,
wow. Good for John.
Oh.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Pauline. We have Jennifer Foley on the line. Welcome, Jennifer. You're a very cute puppy.
Hey, Jennifer.
Okay. I suppose now's a good time to mention this, just in case everyone didn't see the notes that Pauline sent out. It was a bit of a sad weekend for the club. First off, Carol Brown, former Rotarian, passed away. I think after quite a long battle with Alzheimer's. Was that not the case, Pauline?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And of course, Steve Code and Terry Witherspoon's mother-in-law, Judy Judy Soller passed away as well this weekend. Steve sent me a note last night saying how much he appreciated all the calls and messages he had gotten, and how beautiful the flowers that the club sent were. So thank you very much, Linda, for sending those out on all of our behalf. Lovely. They were quite touched. With that, Dennis, over to you to introduce our speakers.
Hey, with pleasure. The speakers today are Frank Cerisano, who is Executive Director of the Memorial Hospital Foundation, and Lisa McVetey, who is a registered nurse, and generally her day job is project manager, capital planning and development, but I understand from the last few days you've been passing out the drugs at long-term care facilities, and definitely one of our frontline workers in the most positive manner we can think of during this troubled time. But we did not get a bio for Lisa, so you're a woman of mystery this morning. Frank, we've gotten to know, Steve Code and I have gotten to know over the last year as a result of both of us being members of the Planned Giving Committee for the Hospital Foundation. By way of background, Frank has been 25 years in the philanthropy business, both as a consultant and as an executive director at a number of facilities that brings a great deal of expertise to the current challenges of the foundation, including the new build. So, and as well, he has been a member of a variety of associations, both as a director and member. That's too long to list this morning. And I'd rather we just simply open it up. And Frank, if you want to take it from here, and we look forward to your comments and Lisa's comments.
Great. Thank you, Dennis. And I just want to tell the group how great of a job Dennis is doing on our Planned Giving Committee. Dennis and Steve as well. Steve Coates is also on our committee, and we welcome all the contributions of our volunteers. Actually, Dennis was the chair of the board of the foundation for the longest time, and we're responsible for setting a wonderful platform for which the foundation to spring for. So Dennis, for that, I just want to publicly acknowledge you for all your work in years of service to the foundation. So thank you for that wonderful introduction, Dennis. I probably won't take up most of your time, but you'll all probably want to hear from Lisa, because she's right on the front lines helping our residents of the municipality of Clarington. So what I'm going to do here today is just set the stage a bit about where the foundation was, 3-4 years ago, to where we are now and where we're going with respect to the capital campaign. And that I'll take about 3 to 4 minutes to do that, and then I will absolutely pass it over to my dear colleague Lisa, who's probably more of an interesting speaker than I am, and you'll have more questions for her because she's right on that front line, and one of our health workers who really is giving it her all, and we appreciate you, Lisa, for doing everything that you do every day for us. So I started with the foundation about 4 years ago, and with that, I was given a great platform in which to spring forward. We had about 9 volunteers, so active board members who were working really well. We then realized really quickly that if we were going to accomplish or raise any significant dollars for the expansion, that we needed more volunteers, we needed an expanded staff resource, and we needed additional governance measures to make us stronger as a foundation. So we quickly went to work to bring in an interim plan that was geared towards the campaign, expanded our volunteer base from 9 to 50 plus volunteers. There's probably 10 active committees now. There used to be sort of the board and then 3 standing committees. So we we jumped up to 10. And Dennis mentioned the Plan Giving Committee that he's on is one of those 10 committees. And we doubled our staff resource count. And in the course of the 2.5, 3 years that we started to implement that, we've successfully moved the campaign forward. If those of you are reading the news or watch Regional Council at all, we had a great meeting at Regional Council just before the holidays where they're looking at considering, so I can say this is public knowledge, so looking at considering potentially a $37.5 million campaign gift to the expansion. So that was great news. We've got the council meeting coming up in February. We've raised close to 20 million already in the community. So we're closing in quite nicely on the $60 million for the campaign. That was the original target. But as a result of discussions that Lakeridge has been having with the ministry and the capital branch department, the current projections for the capital build have us at close to $500 million. So we originally were at $200 million with a $60 million target. The costs of the capital build are now moving somewhere upwards of $500 million, which means our campaign goal will definitely increase to about $75 to $80 million. So we're not done yet. At the end of the day, the number is always a moving target. But we've had quite the experience so far. We've got a kind community, and I suspect that over the course of the next 3 to 4 years, as we try to wrap and finish the campaign, that we'll achieve that target. So a lot of the work with the capital campaign is due to most of you know the Kemp family and Kirk has been sort of leading the charge with our cabinet. And has been doing a wonderful job, and we've got other wonderful community leaders. So having said all that, there was a lot of work to be done to set the campaign. We feel pretty good that the campaign is at a nice pace right now. COVID has slowed us down a little bit. I will sort of state that, but we are retooling and recalibrating and figuring out ways to get out to our community. And selectively meeting with some key people because, of course, some businesses and families have suffered some great loss over COVID, and we as a foundation want to be respectful of that. But at the same time, the building will be up soon. Shovel is due to hit the ground still in 2022, with doors opening in 24. So time is not our friend. So the quicker that COVID can go away, the easier it'll be for us to raise the money. But that's just something we need to deal with. So with the campaign in mind, our focus is now ensuring that the hospital, once the campaign is done and the hospital is expanded and built, the hospital is doubling in size and doubling in number of beds, doubling number of staff. So essentially, it's going to be a brand new hospital. And so what Lakeridge is planning to do is build a north tower, and build that first as a sort of a phase 1 approach. Then we're looking to decant the patients in the south tower over to the north tower, and then renovate and complete the entire south tower. You won't even recognize it when we're done. So I know they call it a expansion and redevelopment, but the community is getting a brand new hospital. It's going to be spectacular. I mean, I've watched some of the groups like PCL and Ellis Don who do a lot of hospital expansion projects, do wonders and magic with our recent hospitals across Ontario, and I've seen a few, and our community is going to get something really fantastic that we all can be proud of. So once the campaign is over, essentially with a doubling of staff, a doubling of size, and our community growing, we're going to have double the needs. So currently our foundation it has kept with the ongoing mandate of raising money for equipment. And we will continue sort of to do that. And we've done that quite successfully over the years. As Dennis will tell you, they've funded a number of pieces of equipment. That need is never going to go away. In fact, it's going to increase. So the foundation is squarely focused in a big way on looking at what that annual sustainable revenue looks like after the campaign is done. In fact, we just completed a strategic planning process that addresses that, and we will be sharing that with the community once the board approves it in February. It got a minor approval, I don't know if that's a word, but the board in principle approved the plan last week. We have an official board meeting in February, and then we'll make it readily available to the public April 1st. So you will all be aware of where we're going as a foundation. And if you need us back from time to time to update you on how we're doing against our strategic goals and our plans, please, don't feel free to just give us a call anytime. We're happy to meet with the Bowmanville Rotary Club, as your support to the foundation has been phenomenal over the years. And you really did help fund some pieces of equipment in the past and ongoing support. So we thank you for that as well. So with that as a backdrop, I know we've mentioned Lisa a number of times in the importance of the equipment that the hospital is going to continue to need moving forward. I'm going to pass, do I pass the mic? What I just nod over to Lisa down in the corner. I'm just going to introduce you to Lisa real quickly. We'll talk to you a bit about some of the pieces of equipment that or you as a community have helped fund, and how the hospital put those pieces of equipment to use in the past 3 to 4 years. So Lisa.
Thank you. Thanks, Frank. And thanks everyone for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm sorry, Dennis, you didn't get my very brief bio. I'm very boring. So I am a registered nurse. I have been with the Lake Ridge Corporation for 35 years. Yes, I started when I was 10, so thank you. I spent most of my career at the Ajax Pickering Hospital and within the perioperative program. And when we, had the opportunity to rebuild Port Perry after the unfortunate fire, I moved to capital planning. This gives me a great working relationship with foundations like Frank, because they raise the money and I get to spend it. I have a great job. Close ties to Clarington and Bowmanville. I've been an Oshawa resident all my life, and Clarington's near and dear to my heart. My dad, for those of you from the agricultural sector, my dad is very close friends with Stan and Marianne Found, on their farm and raising cattle and things like that. So very near and dear to my heart. Again, thank you. I do come from a family of service, so I'm an RN. My husband's a critical care paramedic. Our son's a Durham Regional Police Officer, and our daughter is Toronto Fire. So, as we say, we reinvent ourselves during these dark times. But, as Frank said, I've been voluntold or have the opportunity to help out with the vaccine clinics for our long-term care homes, and spent most of the weekend in Bowmanville, which was a great opportunity to, help our long-term care homes. So we were able to do about 80 vaccinations this weekend. So just in Bowmanville alone, and climbing. So we, you'll see these, teams coming out. With my role in capital planning, because I'm a nurse, and I do love online shopping and the results of shopping. So my natural kind of segue is about equipment. So I facilitate, just making sure that what we raise money for, what we buy, gets purchased, gets used, is the right equipment, and is what we need. So, our IV pumps, and, Bowmanville was the first foundation to raise all the money for these new IV pumps. And it is a shiny piece of equipment, but This piece of equipment's at every bedside. You know, the medications we're giving now, the nurses, doctors are giving now, you know, are so finite that these pumps help us to, you know, make sure we're giving these finite doses. It's a matter of safety, security, and, you know, we use IV pumps in you know, every project, from blood transfusions to our trauma patients, to our medical patients who are in heart failure. You know, some patients we just can't give enough fluid to fast enough. And some patients we want to give such a minute dose to that, you know, you don't want, there's such a delicate balance. So that's what these pumps are helping us do. I had a great chat with Joe the other night, and we talked about these beds. And, you know, I know it sounds, oh, boring. We bought a bed. But, you know, for our intensive care patients, these beds, these mattresses, they weigh the patient. So we're not moving them unnecessarily. Some of our mattresses are, you know, help move the patient constantly. So we're preventing bed sores all the time. You know, in COVID, what is really tricky is this lung capacity. And many of our truly sickest patients, we're actually putting them on their stomach so that we're increasing their lung capacity. These mattresses, these beds help these teams do this. So it's at a safe, comfortable level. And so for our sickest patients, this is what it, you know, what it helps with. And conversely, for our medical patients, you know, we want to make sure that our patients are safe. So we've purchased beds that are lower to the ground. People can get in and out of bed safely, up to the bathroom, doing their activities of daily living. And we put alarms on our beds because sometimes patients just don't want to wait that extra minute or forget where they are. So we want to have an alarm on our bed so that the nurses are aware, the family, the patients, a reminder. I can't get out of bed because I might hurt myself and you know, create more. So you know, it's not just a bed. It is improvement of quality of life for our patients. We want to shorten their hospital stays. And for those of them that we can't shorten their stay, we want to make it the most comfortable positioning tool, family access, nursing access that we can provide. There are many projects coming up. You know, as Frank said about our Bowmanville re-expansion, fortunately, we were announced this week by Lindsay Park. So we got a planning grant for our phase 2 planning. So that's the exciting part. And that's my job. So what that is about functional planning. So what services are going where? How do we maximize what we have there? Because we're not building offices, right? We're not building space so that, you know, people can come and have nice desks and beautiful carpet and beautiful flooring. We're building patient space. We're building family access. We're building our future. So we're going to do it right, you know, but we're also going to do it in a way that is flexible. No one predicted this COVID and the demands on our healthcare. So we've got to, you know, think about the future of saying, oh, how do we make space that, you know, will take our grandchildren, right? I'm not building for myself, right? I'm building for my grandchildren. I'm building for this large community, mostly that aren't here yet. So this is going to be our legacy, and we're going to do it right. We're going to do it carefully. We have some great consultants. As Frank said, you know, there is such talent in this province that know how to help us do it right with, again, the community feel. So we'll be coming out to the community. So, you know, you'll, you know, Steve, you'll probably get a survey and some phone calls to say, you know, we want your opinion. Now, you mean your friends around the screen may say, well, maybe we don't want your opinion, but we want your opinion. We want your group's opinion. We want to know what matters to Clarington, what matters to the residents. We want to ensure that, you know, we're not building for people in Mississauga. We're building for Clarington. We're purchasing equipment for Clarington. We, you know, what we buy now has to be translated to the new hospital. We're not buying things for the next 2 years and then throwing it out. We're buying things that I can say, well, we're going to need this cardiac monitor because this will translate into our new, brand new ICU here in Bowmanville. I need, more pediatric equipment. And I said to Frank, I kind of shared with the new manager of Emerge and Critical Care. Her name's Kelly Pasnick. And what a passionate healthcare deliverer. She is so thrilled to be managing the Emerge in Bowmanville. And I said to her, look around your department. Tell me one thing right now that keeps you awake. What do you keep thinking about? So she mentioned her Code Pink cart. And she said, so a Code Pink cart is for pediatric resuscitation. So if someone comes in under the age of 18, their heart is stopped or their breathing isn't right, we call Code Pink so that everybody has the mindset. What we do is we don't guess, right? The Code Pink system takes the guesswork out of resuscitation, right? No one wants to say guess and estimate. And everyone wants accuracy in these pediatric traumas and arrests. So we use a measuring tape. Sorry, there we go. We use a measuring tape, and it's color coded, and it tells us, so this child is this long, therefore they weigh this much. And we flip it over and it tells us they are pink zone. We go to this cart, we open the pink drawer, we take it to the bedside. It has all the breathing equipment, IV equipment, medications right there at that time so that we're able to deliver the right care. She said, we've got the equipment. She says, but it's like putting your best tools in a 25-year-old cart. So anyone who's got a great garage workshop, you want to make sure that your best shiny tools, you spend a lot of money on these accurate tools. You want to make sure that they're safe and that they are protected and promoted. So those are the realistic things that people are looking for and asking for. They're not looking for cozy chairs. They're looking for something what will help our community now and what will translate into care down the road. So, you just have such a thoughtful group there now. I did warn that I will need the hook because I can talk forever on equipment. And I am so very happy, passionate about this and happy to come back anytime. Please, open the invitation because very happy to come and even update you on the process of the redevelopment or anything that we can do, to keep your team involved because we so appreciate the help. I'll talk a little bit about the vaccinations. So we're able to, as I say, SWAT into the communities to say, let's get our most vulnerable people protected. And that's the only way we're going to, beat this, we start at probably 7 a.m. and I wasn't quite sure my dog recognized me yesterday because I just haven't been home in a few days. You crawl in around 8 o'clock and that's about it. But, we've been to Orchard Villa. We've been to Strathaven. We've been to, some of these homes that have been so tragically hit. And the other, the caregivers, the patients, the nurses, they're crying. They're so overwhelmed and emotionally, thankful for the corporation. And I truly want you to know that Lake Ridge Health is a global corporation. We want to make sure that all our residents in all our areas, have that sense of protection and, accuracy. So I'm very happy to stop there. Hope I've answered everyone's questions or, given my blurb, and very happy to take any questions.
Yeah, Lisa, questions. Go ahead, Dennis.
As a question, what piece of equipment is on your most wanted list in calendar 2021?
Thank you for asking that. So for calendar 2021, that's the process we're doing right now. We're gathering everybody to say, from all your areas, give us your big list, give us your, hotspot. So I've had a significant request for a new OR table for the eye center. I've had a significant request for equipment from the emergency department. right now, because I've been drawn out of the office, I will have to send it, and I will send it to Steve, our capital requests from our group. And I believe I will have that probably Monday. So I'll send that out to you this week so that you can all take a look at it, and Steve can send it out to the group. Because, you know, some of the areas have been so hard hit. And I want to talk about the ventilators. You know, we got new ventilators for Bowmanville. That was the foundation's big, you know, kind of request last year. So Bowmanville, we're transitioning the whole corporation to new ventilators. Because of the foundation's quick work, Bowmanville was the first to get the brand new ventilators that, you know, were able to, you know, say, keep up with COVID. So we want to make sure that I'm not buying equipment that someone's asked for 5 years ago. I want to make sure that we're getting equipment. So I'm going to say most likely we'll be upgrading the monitoring equipment in the ICU and the emerge. But want to make sure I get back to you to say, you know, what fits into the group's mantra. You know, also, I mean, Rotary International, you know, certainly has the mantra of, you know, vaccination for all, great family health care, women's and children's, you know, the passion for Rotary International for promoting enhanced healthcare and opportunities is so well known. I want to make sure I tie into, you know, your passions as well. And I've kind of challenged the group on the long-term care, the long-term care, the complex continuing care. Sometimes we're so passionate about the shiny toys, the emergency, the ICU, we do forget a little bit about what do our seniors need? What is senior friendly? What will help our seniors mobilize, have great care, reduce pressure sores? So, you know, I'm going to send out some, you know, nice options, and, you know, and have the group, you know, consider what you'd like to do. But I will give you the grocery list. How's that?
Sounds good.
Thank you. That's
excellent. Excellent. Joe, I see your hand up.
Yeah, as always. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for speaking with us. Can you talk a little bit about what it's like to actually administer these vaccines to these people in the long-term care homes who have been through so much and are living, I would imagine, in such fear? What is it like for them to get these vaccines?
So thank you for that. So my mom, and I'll speak from the heart, my mom's in extended care Oshawa. She's 92. Sorry. So we were there on Saturday. They've done a phenomenal job. They've been on outbreak a few times. But you know, we were able to go into that home. So, you know, as a healthcare professional, to take the vaccine, we're using the Pfizer vaccine. And it is, you know, tricky to mix. We have standard work that you have to do. So the concentration of the healthcare staff, you know, just mixing this drug is phenomenal. We're also on a timeline. So once we take that Pfizer product out of the cooler to room temperature, we have an hour to mix it. So off we go. And then from that hour, as soon as it's mixed, and we're only giving 0.3. So you get a little syringe, and it's probably my fingernail that we're giving. And so we're giving a minute dose. So then off we go, because then we only have 4 hours to make sure we get in to the arm of everybody. So, you know, to be able to make sure that the home that my mom is in, you know, as a professional was wonderful. As a essential caregiver to my mom, you know, I was able to have a little cry because, you know, I'm keeping her safe. I'm keeping the staff safe. And the patients, you know, they're, yeah, okay, well, I'll take that because I want to move around. They're so isolated and so sad. But it's the staff reaction, you know, give it to me. I love these patients. I mean, the emotion from the staff, you know, they're just lining up. And at one site this week, we ran out of drug. We didn't have enough drug for staff. We're going back. But what a great problem to have. You know, we do residents first and then staff. and essential caregivers. There are so many of our say elderly in homes, and their partner visits every day. They've been lifelong partners. They're not stopping being lifelong partners. So we want to also vaccinate some of our lifelong partners who are at the bedside, with their spouses. So, not only are we mentally, drained because, the accuracy and the race to make sure we're there. The emotional kind of, tugs is certainly, certainly there. We've also been able to get Durham Region community paramedics. So they're great partners. So, they've been doing the staff and the families, which is great. And our nursing staff are right at the bedside and able to, be right there. But, the passion of the administration, the passion of people, again, Orchard Villa, one of the hardest hit. But people were crying to get it. And, we sang and we kind of danced and we made it, the celebration it truly is.
Excellent. Linda, was that your hand up?
Yes, it was. Lisa, thank you so much for this talk. As a retired nurse, it was very interesting to me. And as one who has been through a big move from Women's College up to Sunnybrook, it was a massive undertaking. And I love how you asked the staff, what do you want? Because we were involved in that. And it was really gratifying that, we asked for stuff and they saw to it, because we're the ones on the floor. So my question to you though, Lisa, is what do you do with the old beds and the old OR table? And because, there's a huge need for that in developing countries who would be thrilled to get something like that. Do you have any plans for that?
So, yeah, and that's a great question. Lakeridge Health has a significant plan for that. But unfortunately it's pre-COVID, right? So everything now, everything we used to do, and from the Women's College perspective, if you're women's and children's, so incubators that say couldn't use, many of the third world countries, it's incubators finicky to travel. So for animal lovers, we were able to donate incubators that were a little old, were not safe for infants. We were able to donate them to rescue operations for animals. There's a turtle organization in Peterborough. And so they would take IV bags that were outdated because the turtles, if their shells are crushed, they put saline underneath their shells to keep them moist and help in their recovery. We couldn't use it for patients, but great for the turtles. Right. And we were able to send some incubators there so that any unhatched eggs, they could help facilitate the hatching of eggs. So you're right, there's not that big dumpster outside. Right. And many of the companies, and I don't want to throw out too many names, but OR table companies, they'll take our old tables back as we buy new tables. They'll take them back, they'll refurbish them, and they will then sell them to, or donate them to, underprivileged areas. So we have great relationships with companies as well, because, we just don't want it to go to the landfill. It's too good.
Yes.
But great question. But, we certainly try and provide, again, they'll use the turtles because the turtles carry salmonella. So if you don't wear gloves, you don't wash your hands, the workers may get very sick. So gloves that are outdated, we can't use them for healthcare. We give them to the turtles. So, it does, it makes you really happy.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Thank you,
Lisa.
Yeah, thanks.
Lisa, at this point, I'm going to pull the hook.
Thank you.
Not that I want to, on behalf of the club and our families, a sincere thank you from the heart for the hard work you're doing on the front line. There's no doubt without people like yourselves, we'd be in great difficulty at this point. So thank you so much for your hard work.
Well, thank you all, because, I couldn't do the work I do without the support from the community and the passion of your groups. very happy to, as I said, come back anytime, any question. Certainly very happy to share updates of phase 2 redevelopment for Bowmanville anytime, please. I'm off to Hillsdale Manor this morning, so we're going to do Hillsdale Estates this morning, and we're doing Village of Taunton Mills this afternoon. So we'll be doing about 350 vaccinations today of residents alone. And probably another 100 of staff. So it's all hands on deck. And I, have the best job in the world. So, thank you for your support and your generosity and, keeping us all together. So thank you all. And as I said, I'm looking forward to having a face-to-face breakfast because I haven't missed a meal, pandemic or not. So anyway. Thank you all and see you soon. Please stay safe and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that was fantastic. Really, really interesting. We'll have to make sure that Lisa sends that list on to Steve so we can consider it. Who has Happy Bucks? Dennis.
Yeah, I had a Happy Buck, just a follow-up to the announcement from MPP Lindsay Park that there's a $2.5 million planning grant, but as well, given the circumstances, they're also going to be putting in another interim helipad, which is very important right now. So they're giving us a little more support in that area. Which will make the helicopters coming in a little easier for them. So that's good news as well.
Where's that going, Dennis?
I got my Happy Buck for that.
Dennis, is that the one on Lambs Road?
I think so, yeah.
Joe with Happy Buck.
A Happy Buck. It's first a preface with a bit of an announcement. The Concert to Feed the Need, they haven't yet figured out the how much money we actually took in. It's going to be at least 15, I would imagine, but there's still some counting and some figuring to do. But this is to do with one of our performers, Cale Crow, had a pretty severe car accident right after New Year's, and he's been having some online concerts. He broke his arm and he's unable to perform right now. And he sent a note to us, and I sent it out to the club. And Lyle's committee, the community service committee, has come up with a few $100s for him, which is really wonderful. And so it makes me feel good that we can actually help one of the people who's been helping us the last couple of years. And we all wish him well. So thank you.
Excellent. Pauline, your Happy Buck. And then
yeah,
Doug.
My Happy Buck is happy memories of times with Carol Brown. And I know there's not too many Rotarians here remember her, but Carol and I worked together on planning the auction for 3 or 4 years. And Carol at the time managed the Royal Bank in Bowmanville. And many of the items were stored in the basement of the Royal Bank. And I have a lot of memories of drinking wine and arranging all the auction items in that basement. And when we had enough money donated, we'd actually go shopping for the auction. And Don Gleed will remember this time when we went to Costco, and Don came with his truck because there were some big items we wanted to buy. And Don got his truck loaded up, and Carol and I followed him back along the 401, and there was a mirror had been just set on the back of the pickup, and I guess it was just a little loose, and we're driving along the 401 and the mirror blows off the back of the pickup truck, miraculously doesn't break but lands right against the barrier. So Carol just stopped the car and I ran across the traffic and retrieved the mirror. So I always expected, and Carol and I would laugh, that one day there would be a plaque saying, yes, we did have women in Rotary once, but. So very happy memories of Carol, and I'm sure she's in a better place now.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Doug, you were next, and then Don.
Yeah, so my Happy Buck is just a bit of an update on my my mom. If people recall, she had a major stroke in June.
and she, I mean, didn't really recover much. So she, it's a challenge for her. But the happy buck is that last week she moved into a long-term care facility in Lindsay at Victoria Manor. So very happy about that. She's been in a hospital for 6 months, and while they did a fantastic job, they just really aren't set up for supporting people in my mom's situation. So the move occurred very smoothly, and she's settled in quite well, and just good feedback on how she's responding. So that's my happy buck. Thanks.
Excellent. And Don, I think I saw your hand.
Yeah, this is more of an obscure buck, I guess, and it could be fake news, but it put a smile on my face, and it might put one on yours. One of the 5 individuals that perished in the last Wednesday in the rush into Congress allegedly went in there with a taser gun, and while he was stealing a painting, he accidentally set off the taser gun, and it went right into his manhood, and he was not able to shut it off very quickly and suffered a fatal heart attack. So although sad for him, kind of made me smile anyway. It might be fake news, but it was funny.
I haven't found anything to refute that, Don. I haven't found anything to refute it, so I looked around, so I'm assuming it's true now. It's Schadenfreude defined. That's excellent. Okay. If there aren't any other happy bucks, on to Rachel with a report from the Public Relations and Branding Committee.
Everyone, just as a kind of a reminder, the objectives of our committee this year was to increase community awareness of what our club does, and not just Bowmanville Rotary, but what Rotary International stands for. And our other goals have been to help anything we can do to increase membership and help with fundraising activities. So one of our main goals was to increase our presence on social media, and we've done really well with that. So Facebook, as of last July, before we opened our new Facebook page, we had approximately 170 followers or members, and we're well over 500 now. Including our Concert to Feed the Need page is well over 500 followers. So that's all people now that are following along on what we're doing that possibly weren't before. You've probably seen we have a YouTube channel now, or maybe you haven't seen it because there's only 2 subscribers, and I think that's Steve and I. But what's great about the new YouTube channel is our meetings are on there, the Christmas parties on there, the children respite Christmas parties on there. So when you have a friend or someone in the community that asks what we do or is considering joining Rotary, it's a fantastic spot to send them so they can actually see what is really going on at some of our meetings and what some of our speakers are talking about. So that's relatively new. We do have probably about 5 videos posted so far. Tonight, I'm going to be doing the Tuesday talk. It's a 7070. It's on branding today. So if anybody wants to go to it, feel free to. I think, Joe, you're going to come along to it. So I'm going on behalf of the committee, and I'll just bring back whatever I learn and take it to our own committee meeting later on this month. I think we're meeting later on this month. If anybody wants to join our call, it'll be a Zoom call just to plan out 2021 on our final goals. We've reached a lot of our goals already, so it's going to be more about just image and anything else positive we can do to support the club and some more support upcoming fundraising activities, which will include the next main event is going to be the Valentine's Day dinner. That's about it. There's really not much. Well, there's a lot going on, but that's it.
Excellent. Thanks, Rachel. I'll get to you, Pauline, just one second. Just to let you know, we set goals out at the start of each year. They're for a presidential citation, but it has nothing to do with me. It's got everything to do with the club. And several of those goals were in and around public image and branding. And Rachel, her committee, and our whole club has already hit it out of the park in relation to those goals. I thought we should update the website, let's call it a dozen times. I think the actual number I set was 5. We're we're at 375 updates that we've got out to the public that way. We've used bits and pieces of official marketing stuff from Rotary International. We've got a strategy. We're doing all the right things and being noticed a little bit for it. So thank you to Rachel, her committee, and to all of you. Thanks for that, Pauline.
Yeah, Rachel, I just wanted to ask, what's the best way for members to purchase branding products for their personal use? I know when I go to your place, there's Rotary sheets and there's Rotary tablecloths and everything's Rotary. So,
I'll send out a possible website, Steve.
So I'm going to mention to the board tomorrow night, but I need some new Rotary gear and different Rotary gear. So I'm going to put a couple of options out to everyone, and you can choose to purchase or not. But Whitby's got some great hoodies. One that says "This is my Rotary hoodie" on it. It's got the Rotary wheel on it, and then Whitby Sunrise Rotary on their sleeve. Pretty fun piece. That, and we'll get a couple other things because I know there's lots of new Rotarians that don't have any kit, right? So
yeah, and I was just going to say, I was going to add, I also have a contact through my work that does things like that, like masks, even whatever it might be, right? There's different things that we can do.
Cool.
So whatever we can do, and if you need a subcommittee put together to help maybe push some ideas through, that I'd be happy to help out with that.
A lot of the ideas have been thought of from a lot of clubs. So there's 2 or 3 different providers already that have been approved by Rotary International or Rotary.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
That already have the approved logo and everything. And it's everything from masks to pens to pins to sweatshirts to everything you can think of, socks.
So are we limited to like a certain, I mean, obviously the logo, but if there's like a saying or anything like that, are we limited by what we can say?
No, the logo has to comply. You know,
yeah, of course.
No one's going to jump down our throats, but we got to make sure the logo's within tolerance.
Okay.
All right.
The only other thing is you have to make sure what you put on it is appropriate.
Well, yeah, like we're not going to have the sitting ladies like are on truck mud flaps or anything, John. But I think we're all reasonable folks. So, Joe, you beat me to.
The issues are all spelled out on the Rotary website.
Yep. So, just in the interest of time, we're going to skip the Sergeant of Arms and we're going to go to our community update with Ted. You're muted, Ted. There you are.
Good. Okay, I was on the Agricultural Advisory Committee for Clarington for about 20 years and just resigning in December. One of our presentations was on climate change, so I thought I'd do it on that this morning. Most of us are aware of the fact that we've been experiencing climate change with the fires in Fort McMurray, BC, and of course California for the last several years. But do we know what's happening in Durham? Durham Region published their climate adaptation plan in 2016, where they examined the effects of climate change on flooding, temperature, electrical, human health, to name but a few, and what we might need to adapt to these changes. The prediction is that the regional average for all of Durham Region for the years 2000 to 2009, compared to the anticipated average for the years 2040 to 2049, will be the following: 16% more precipitation overall, and a 50% increase in maximum one-day rainfall amounts, with a 40% decrease in one-day maximum snowfall amounts, 80% reduction in the number of days with more than 5 centimeters of snow. The ridge is going to have to go farther north. They anticipated for February a 217% increase in rain and a 75% decrease in snow. In addition, January will show a similar effect, but to a lesser amounts. 15% increase in the potential storms and a 53% increase for potential tornadoes. July and August would see a 76% increase in rainfall. I think the average temperature will increase by 4 degrees, but 5.8 degrees warmer in the winter and 2.6 degrees in the summer. Unfortunately, heat waves could be more over 7 degrees Celsius warmer than we are getting now or got in that earlier period. And the humidex well into the dangerous zone of 45 degrees and occasionally hitting 51 degrees. How does this affect Clarington? We'll see an 11% increase in precipitation, with the number of days with more than 25 millimeters of rain going up 50%. The days with more than 5 centimeters of snow will drop from 9 to just 1 day a year. We still may get occasionally a larger extreme snowfall of, say, 21 centimeters, but that'll be rare. Extreme heat, daily temperatures will go up 3 degrees, but the extreme maximum, not counting humidex, will go from 32 to 40. And the number of days above 30 will jump from 1 to 9. Although total rainfall on average only went up 10%, the potential for more flooding will increase due to the severe storms, and we'll have more droughts. And will be aggravated by all the pavement, roofs, as the speed of water draining quickly is quicker than the forests or the cropland would have helped to slow it down. In the report, it refers to the 2 railway lines, and I thought this was interesting, and 2 railway lines in the 401 as the Great Wall of Durham, and especially the CN, which is an older line, because they don't have sufficient capacity of bridges to take the flow from a once in a long blue moon type of rainfall. As well, in a number of cases, they've already started replacing, when they replace culverts, they replace them with a larger one. Ditches may have to be cleaned out to keep water flowing. The region reports talks about possibility of restricting outside jobs such as construction and field work during hot spells, which will be, and the need for more cooling centers. Time will tell if your predictions are correct, but if they are, we will see some changes in the comfort level.
Ted, that was excellent and informative. Thank you so much. Bang on the nose for the type of thing that we like to see in the community update. Thank you. And Lloyd, your note in the chat is apt. You know, we certainly do need to focus on green infrastructure as we experience this change in weather. Okay, with that, I only have one announcement noted. Things are changing, right? The numbers are going up. Ellie is getting more calls now for grocery shopping. As we've said all the way along, we stopped promoting this really early on social media because we've only got so much capacity in our shoppers, but we are getting a few more calls. And if you're available and able to help with the shop once a week or so, please reach out to Ellie or I, and we'll make sure that we get you on the rotation. Because there's a need out there in the community, and it's only going to get more. And with that, I think we're over to our quote of the week from Linda.
Okay, so you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are now and change the ending.
That's excellent. Thank you, Linda. Ruth. And with that, if there's nothing else for the good of Rotary, remember in the things that we say and we do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Have a fantastic day, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Cheers. Stay well.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.